Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the Angels in Politics broadcast. Remember, always remember, you are the news. Okay, you're all we think about. You're all we talk about. You're all I care about. So just make sure that you understand that you're very important. And you are the conductor of the universe. You are that light, and you do have those spiritual gifts. So continue to refine those, cultivate those, and before you refine them, find them. They're there. They're definitely there. And become the archetypal like hero. And in order for you to self-actualize and become the archetypal superhero, you're gonna have to face the darkness. You're gonna have to go into the fire. You're gonna have to find your demons, and trust me, you have them. Trust me, there are dragons there. You must slay them. So somebody might say, Gabe, you're talking about this, and you're claiming that you're the divine of femininity's cheerleader, and you're the champion of femininity, and you're trying to promote like health, wealth, and wellness to the world, and you're trying to promote self-esteem and self-confidence and self-mastery to all people, specifically the young women, because they're not getting that confidence, they're not getting that push, they're not having an advocate that looks like you. Most of the advocates are claiming to be feminists, but like we understand what that really means. We know that most girls who claim themselves to be feminists really hate women. I mean, like, they don't hate women, they just hate women who are attractive. They don't really hate women, they just hate women who are, getting the job done, and who are accountable, who aren't making excuses for their inadequacies. So we know what that means. I'm going to tell you that I have my own demons. And I'm still wrestling with them now, and they're right here. Somebody might say, what is that here? Is that your ego? Is that your pride? Of course, that's my ego. That's my pride. But the ego that sits right here between your eyes is also where the pineal gland is. Or the pineal gland. It's like a pine cone, but somebody might say, is that the third eye? Listen. If you've already awakened your third eye, I'm not there yet. Trust me, but it's been pulsating. It definitely pulsates, especially when you start to go through your awakening process. Oh my gosh, you're going to feel like, am I Cyclops right now? Like, do I need to take my visor the fuck off right now? Because I feel like shooting. I feel like the laser is coming out right now. Like, I feel like I am literally about to turn up, and I'm out here with my powers, and it's about to go through the roof. But you have to control that. You have to control that energy. Before I get to that, before I can even talk about the third eye, like, I can't speak too much about it because I haven't fully awakened it. I haven't fully gone through that full process. I'm still on my journey. But I can tell you one thing that does block you from that transcendent, universal Christ consciousness. What does block you from that cosmic, universal, powerful force that you have within all of you? What is blocking that is your ego. That's for fuck sure. You can't get to the awakening of this transformative, transcendent, divine energy, divinity. You can't get to the divinity. You can't get to the clairvoyancy. You can't get to that cosmic force because you're so worried about your ego is blocking you. Your ego is encumbering you. Your ego, your pride is limiting you. Gabe, white collar goon, Mr. Political, Angels in Politics, tell me, what is your issues? What are your problems? Where do you come up short? What are your demons? Stubbornness. Stubbornness. I've told you about my personality type. You've seen my personality archetype. You know my archetype. You know I'm the maverick. You know I'm the nonconformist. You know I am the tyrant at times. You know I can be the campaigner. You know I stand up for people who do not have a voice because I have such a loud voice and I have so much to say. You know that I am the person who will say what other people don't want to say. You know that I don't give any, to a clinical degree, I don't give two shits about how other people feel about me. But because of that, because of your self-reliance, because of your self-sufficiency, because of the fact that you can go and travel the world and buy a one-way ticket by yourself and walk the streets of these foreign lands by yourself, because you're truly know that you're not by yourself, because you're accountable to God and the Holy Trinity is always surrounding you. But because I am that way, There's been times where I've strayed off the path and I just leaned on my own understanding. Somebody says, Gabe, you're strong. You're strong-willed. You're strong-minded. You have a strong spirit. But another word for being a strong mind is being stubborn. You don't listen. You haven't listened to the guides, the spiritual guides, the physical guides, the emotional guides that God has placed in front of you, because your ego has told you, what can you tell me? Somebody might say you're blocking a blessing. Yes, I mean, that is true. I might say it's like you're closing the door to opportunity. You're like shutting that window to the next realm, because that person or that individual or that experience didn't fall into what you thought was correct. Do you understand? I'll give you an example as I sip my coffee. Have you had a meal yet? When I mean a meal, I don't mean like $1 million. I just mean like, have you eaten as of yet? Okay, so me neither. So like, as you can see, I'm turned up. As you see, I'm still on my fast, right? Okay, so when I think about the reason, when I think about the reasons why, like, I was going through a dark time, when I had to face my darkness, and this was like in the incipience of my Kundalini awakening, and I didn't even know what Kundalini was, and I didn't know what awakening was. I didn't know what I was going through at the time, because nobody explained it to me, and I didn't know anybody else who was going through these things other than a very close colleague of mine. And I'm so glad that I had this brother who had this information. But before I even reached out to him, I mean, this was years before that, I had to figure out what were my, like, weaknesses, and what was I struggling with, what was my internal conflicts. When somebody says insecurities, what is the insecurity? Insecurity means it's inside of you. What is inside of you that you are struggling with, that you are conflicted with? Everybody has their own personal conflicts, and these conflictions, and these afflictions, and these inadequacies, and these insecurities are all internal, intrinsic. So I had to, like, before I was meditating, I thought I could just do it myself. Before I started to get back into the scripture and read the word of God, I was trying to do it myself. Before any of those things, I was just trying to, like, hey man, I'm a strong man. Let me just lift weights. Let me just do push-ups. Let me just go ahead and just drink, the wine. I really enjoy wine. Let me just go out there and smoke my weed. I really enjoy smoking weed. Let me just smoke a little weed, do a little yoga. Like, let me just figure it out that way, and then my life will be in alignment. But I wasn't aligned. I wasn't aligned. I was misaligned in every sense of the word. I was misaligned emotionally, socially, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, physically. I physically had a hip impingement. I physically had one hip higher than the other. I physically had a pronated left foot, and I'm still working on it. I mean, like, there were physical issues that have manifested itself through the cognitive spectrum, through my cognitive lack of cognitive discipline, the lack of my spiritual discipline, the lack of my emotional stability, because I was feeding my own pleasures. I was living purely based on hedonism, or my hedonistic pleasures. Somebody says, what does that even mean? That means I was going for the three dubs. Not 3LW. I love that group, and I'm thankful for that song, and I'm thankful for their hit back in 2000. But, like, I was going to the wine, the weed, and the women. That's what I was feeding my. That's what I was using for escapisms. That was my escapism. Oh, Gabe, you're feeling like not even if I'm feeling like I have low self-esteem. It's like, why do you have low self-esteem? Because I'm not getting laid. I feel like I'm not that confident now because I'm not getting laid. Why aren't you getting laid, Gabe? Why aren't you getting laid? Well, because every time I'm going out to the bars and to the clubs, and I'm seeing the attractive, beautiful sister from East Africa, from Kenya, from Eritrea, from South Sudan, when I'm seeing the beautiful sisters from Namibia, when I'm seeing the beautiful West African sisters, when I'm seeing the beautiful women from Northern Africa, from Morocco, from Algeria, from Egypt, instead of me aligning with their personality, and instead of me figuring out who they are socially or emotionally or cognitively, instead of stimulating them on a higher realm. All I wanted was the flesh. All I wanted was the flesh. All I wanted was to get up in there and do what I wanted to do, and they knew that, and they weren't fucking with that. They weren't here for it. They were not here for that at all. And I was losing my respect because I was like, damn, these women aren't respecting me. Like, why am I not getting respect? I'm looking at my homeboys, and I can tell you like stories upon stories. I remember being in China when I was living in Shanghai, and I remember us, I tell you about this bar that we frequented quite often. It was our How I Met Your Mother bar. You know how in that TV show they're always at the same bar, and I like that aspect that, like, people just communally meet at this bar, and it's just like that, place that no matter where you are, like we were coming from all different parts of the city, and the city is huge. The metro system is huge. It's a city of over 24 million people, but we worked in sprawling areas. Somebody was in the northeast, I was in the southwest, somebody was in the, northwest, and we have friends that were all, our company had various locations, but we all met up at the same bar at night that was like in downtown or in the city center. And the Filipino owners of the bar were super cool, but they noticed they noticed, was like, yo, Gabe, like, why what's going on? Your roommates, we see them all the time here with dates. We see them all the time with beautiful ladies. We see them all the time essentially winning, like, but what about you? Yeah, I remember the homegirl said it to me. She was like, hey, where's your lady? Like, where's your lady, Gabe? Like, your roommates are coming in, and they're pretty much cleaning house out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every time I see your boy Quan, he's like with a new girl, like literally every other day, going on his dates. Beautiful women. Like, what about you, Gabe? You're handsome. You're well spoken. They didn't say all that, but like they were just saying, like, what about you? Like, where's your success? And the truth of the matter is, I was my own worst enemy. It was, yeah, women were not, giving me that respect, but the reason why the women weren't respecting me is because I wasn't respecting myself. I wasn't respecting myself. If I want to use my body, if I want to use my spiritual entity, if I want to use my vessel, if I want to use my cognitive abilities, and all I'm doing is channeling my abilities and my strengths and my gifts and my assets, and I just want to be used as a way to, like, get myself laid. The majority of women, and I mean 99% of them, they weren't here for it, because they were like, dude, like, why would you waste your time trying to impress us when you could be, like, you're trying to penetrate us, but you haven't penetrated your purpose. They weren't telling me that, but that's what life was telling me. Like, you're trying to get up in here, but like, brother, you haven't aligned yourself with your purpose. The reason why these homegirls were fucking the guys in the bar, having one night stands with these guys in the bar, is because they saw them on their level. Like, yes, I can fuck with that guy and take him home and not feel any kind of way about it. I can have sex with this guy and take him home, and girls would be like, shit, I don't have to worry about. Like, I'm confident in my own, like, security, emotional security or stability, that I'm not gonna, like, oh my gosh, like, this is gonna be my marriage material. Like, this is the guy who's gonna sweep me off my feet. Like, because they were on the opposite end of the spectrum is the reason why they, like, were like, easy, yeah, I can fuck this dude. Like, that's how they had the mindset. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe they were like, okay, this guy is into me, yes, I can fuck this dude, and he's gonna want to sweep me off my feet. He's gonna be like the majority of guys and say, baby, please don't go. Baby, please call me back. Baby, please, like, go on a date with me. Baby, please be exclusive, because I don't want to share you with anybody else. They knew they weren't getting that with me, but I wouldn't say that's the reason why they weren't fucking with me. That's just an excuse. The reason why they weren't respecting me was because it's like, dude, you don't respect women. You don't respect yourself, and we can see that you don't respect women. Dude, you're out here getting blindingly drunk, and you've already smoked, your weed and hash before you got here, and you're in your, decadent clothing, and you're walking around talking from girl to girl, group to group, and then we see you in front of the girl's bathroom tongue kisses some girl, and then you come upstairs and go to the next girl. It's like, girls were seeing my moves, and they were not here for it, because my moves were very transparent. It wasn't like I was trying to hide what I was doing. It was like, no, like we see it and we don't want any parts of it. But the stubbornness came from, it's like I wasn't learning from this. I wasn't learning how to like alter or augment or like facilitate my behavior in a certain way that was conducive to my environment. I wasn't learning this. Like girls were telling me like, dude, like why are you so why are you so drunk? Dude, why are you so out of control? Dude, like there was girls who were actually laughing and like, yo, you're talking to me and you don't even remember. And I'm like, what? Like you're talking to me and you don't even remember the last time you were here. Like, do you remember the last time you were here? Do you remember what you did last week? Do you remember like you just walked by, quote unquote, like let's say Jessica, and the fact you didn't speak to her shows how drunk you were? You don't even remember, Gabe. That's why. That's the reason why that's the reason why you're not winning, brother. That's the reason why you're not getting far with women. That's the reason why we're choosing to fuck your roommates instead of you. Like that's because like it's not clicking, dude. It's not clicking. You're being stubborn. You're leaning on your own understanding. You're thinking, oh, this girl isn't respecting me. This girl isn't, responding to me. This girl isn't coming home with me whenever I said I'm ready to go because, I got wine at home and I got the weed at home and I got the hash at home. And like, it's a win, homegirl. Like, I'm telling you to come through because it's a win regardless. Like, you're fucking with me and we got the wine and weed at home. Like, how can we not be winning? Like, you're not, the thing is, I wasn't lowering the ego to realize, like, brother, you're not stopping to see what's in front of your face. Like it's all you. It was all me. It was all like 100% my way, my way, my way, my way. And you're not even allowing the women. You're not relenting. You're not even sitting back to allow the woman to express her personality or give you any feedback because it's just all you. And I was blocking my blessings. I was blocking. Somebody says, "Well, having sex is your blessing." Well, yes and no, but like I was blocking any. I was talking myself out of any opportunity that some women probably wanted to get to me. You feel what I'm saying? Like I remember going to these dive bars and girls were looking at me because I'm drunk and I'm going off on my spiel and maybe I'm rolling on something. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm just. Probably I was rolling. Now I'm out here talking a million miles a minute about my dreams, about my aspirations, about the fact that I've traveled these places. And it's like, homegirls looking at me like, yo, you're too busy trying to be fucking Mr. Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the fucking world. And yeah, you might impress some ladies about it, but you're not really going to get anything out of it because girls don't give a fuck about you and your whatever it is, your eclectic impresario virtuoso type of nature that you're trying to project. It's like girls were looking at you like, literally a girl from Scotland was like, why are you here? No, like, why are you here? We understand why these guys are here. We understand why most of these guys who are like 25 years old, 30 years old, or less, or 22, 23 years old, are at this seedy ass dive bar drinking cheap beer, dancing to the songs like the YMCA by the Village People. We understand why they're here. Like, they don't know any better. But like, bro, like, why are you here? Homegirl was like, I'm impressed, but like, I'm not gonna fuck you tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you shouldn't even be here. Like, you should be doing something. That's exactly what a girl, like, you should be doing something else. You shouldn't be essentially wasting your time here. You shouldn't be wasting your talents trying to pick up women at dive bars because they're fucking guys with low self-esteem, to be honest. Like, you, dude, you got a lot going on, but you shouldn't be here. So I was too stubborn to listen to that. I was thinking, man, maybe I should go harder with women. Maybe I should say more to women. Maybe I should drink more. And we all know how that turned out. It turned out to me being blacked out and losing my wallet multiple times. It turned out for me being, face first in the bushes, being violently sick. It turned out to me urinating in public. It turned out to me walking down the street and walking slam face first into a cement pole in the street and splitting my forehead open. It led to me coming back home and smoking weed and drinking wine at night and doing, fucking dances underneath the moonlight, and people, your neighbors are like, yo, Gabe, what's going on? It led to all kinds of shit, because it's like, you are looking for something that has been inside of you the whole time. You're looking for your fortune, you're looking for your treasure, you're looking for your antiquities, your rarities, your gifts are there, but you're not manifesting them because you're going about it the wrong way. You're having all of these constituents in your body that are harmful to you, and they're not helping you, brother. Not to say that I would never smoke weed again, but I mean, at this point, like, I was saying that I was getting creative at times, but definitely wasn't helping me. I was drinking a glass of wine isn't the end all be all. It was the fact that I wasn't drinking a glass, I was drinking 2 bottles, and then I was going to the bar. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was this types of things. It's just like, Gabe, like, this is all on you. This is all on you. Yeah, you were dating that young Ukrainian girl who had to ass like a fucking dump truck, and you were taking her out to these places, and she was respecting you, but because you were pushing and pushing and pushing for it, all she could do was pull back and pull back and be like, no, I'm not giving it to you, bro, because I can see that this is all you want. This is all you want. And this was happening for multiple occasions. So it's like, guys, like, I'm telling you, like, me wrestling my demons, me wrestling my insecurities has gotten me to the point whereby it's like, damn, what would I be if I wasn't worried about women all the time? What would I be doing if I wasn't drunk and high and smacked and raging all the time? What would I be if I wasn't hitting the clubs and bars and chasing women? What would I be? Well, I would be probably self-actualized. Not to say I would be the superhero. Homegirl, I'm still in training. I'm still wet right now. I'm still wet. I'm still wet behind the ears. So it's like, I'm still in training. If you think you've met the divine feminine, if you think you've met the divine feminine maverick, cheerleader, challenger, domineering, tyrant, personality archetype, you don't know shit. I am on the way. And what I mean I'm on the way, I'm giving. This is philanthropy. I'm no longer turning up. I'm just expressing. White collar goon. White collar goon.